se lanza el perfume en la reina, siguen los problemas con la boda, pero tenemos a un gran invitado especial aquí con nosotros, no se lo pueden perder.
Bienvenidos a AfterBuzz TV, el ESPN de conversaciones de televisión.
¿Qué tal, mi gente latina? Estoy muy emocionada porque por primera vez tenemos a un invitado especial aquí con nosotros. Como pueden ver, aquí está Johnny con nosotros.
Hola, mucho gusto. Very happy to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, we're so excited to have you here. You're our first guest for the whole Latino channel, that we're starting to promote. Y también, como siempre, tenemos a Jenni, la productora de este show, aquí con nosotros. Jenni, ¿estás lista?
Sí, estoy lista y muy contenta que está Johnny con nosotros hoy.
Ok, pues hay que empezar. Hoy vamos a hacer las cosas un poquito diferente. Yo le voy a preguntar a Johnny las preguntas en español y él me va a responder en inglés. Y también al fin de este episodio le voy a preguntar unas preguntas de su vida y lo que está pasando ahorita. Bueno, hay que empezar. En este episodio vimos muchas cosas diferentes con Chiquis, pero para empezar vimos el lanzamiento del perfume La Reina, en que todos sus hermanos y hermanas estaban muy emocionados por ella, pero también, como siempre, tuvo problemas con los medios porque no fueron invitados, pero como siempre se quieren meter ahí a eventos que pues no están invitados, y tuvo un poquito de problemas al principio, pero lo bueno fue que pudo entrar y pudo disfrutar su evento. Johnny, ¿tú qué pensaste del evento? Yo sé que no pudiste estar ahí, ¿y por qué tú fuiste el único que no pudo estar ahí en ese evento?
Pues al ver que mi hermana pues estaba feliz por cumplir otro sueño, porque surprisingly I was actually in the car with her.
Oh, really?
Cuando she got the call that they wanted to make a perfume with her.
Oh.
And so just seeing it from beginning the process and y cómo fue todo eso, it was really interesting. And I was really proud of her, but at the time I was having issues with two of her employees. One was my best friend David, the other is her assistant Chris. I was just having mixed emotions on them, and I thought it wouldn't be. I'm the type of person that, like, if I'm not happy someplace, I'm gonna remove myself because I don't want to cause issues in the environment, and like I want to support my sister, but what good am I gonna do if I'm gonna be in a bad mood the whole time? I know myself, so I figured, I'm gonna support her from a distance. I'm gonna just remove myself from the situation so I don't cause any problems, and so that's why I wasn't there that night. But thank God I've fixed the problems with them too. I have peace with them.
Right, and then we also saw that you're very close with your sister, so that's why it was a little. To be honest, the reason why I thought you weren't there is because I know it was at a club, so I was like, oh, he's not 21.
Oh, that too.
Really?
Yeah, I barely remember that, but yeah, it was at the room, which is 21 plus too.
Right, so I was like, oh, okay, maybe that's why he wasn't there. But we saw that was very short, vimos que Chiquis tuvo su momento, estuvo muy contenta de estar ahí, porque en ese lugar menciona a Lorenzo que fue cuando pidió que sí salieran por primera vez, y cuando se enamoraron por primera vez también, y él empezó a hablar como siempre muy bien de Chiquis, y fue un momento muy bonito. Yo la verdad no sabía que se habían conocido ahí, pero tú estabas ahí cuando primero empezaron a hablar.
Pues sí, creo que eso fue la primera vez que I think she got asked out
on a date.
Pero ellos se conocieron en un evento de mi mamá, en la noche de la gran señora. Era el cumpleaños de mi mamá el 2016.
Oh, okay.
Se conocieron ahí, y yo le dije a Chiquis que Lorenzo le tenía. I could tell by the way he was looking at her.
Yeah.
That he had a crush on her.
Yeah.
And then I guess they added each other on Snapchat, and they started talking in the next month.
Oh, interesting. Okay. And I know you're very close with your sister. How did you feel about Lorenzo in the beginning?
A lot of people would expect me to be more protective, but I think I've always just seen, my siblings have had their relationships every now and then, so I've always just kind of oh, it's just another person around the family.
Right.
So it's it's the same way it's always been with Lorenzo. I love and appreciate him and how he makes my sister happy. So he was cool. It was cool in the very beginning. Actually, I really miss those times when they first got together.
Yeah, because now it's like they're married, and you know how a lot of people say marriage changes a lot of things. But from what we see, I'm pretty sure they're good.
The dynamic between us, I mean, nothing has changed. Even like as far as that's another question I get asked about a lot, is like how have things in your house how much have they changed since Lorenzo moved in. But honestly, they both come and go so much because that's their work, and Lorenzo's come and gone since the beginning, so it's like it doesn't feel like anything has changed since they got together. So
which is good that you guys have, respect each other's decisions and everything like that, which I'm glad that Chiquis was able to respect your decision about not going. But I'm sure she knows that you will always support and love her no matter what. No matter what project she does, you're always going to be there. But también vimos el lanzamiento de Reina, pero luego seguimos otra vez con los problemas de la boda. Pero Chiquis y Lorenzo van a ver el lugar donde se van a casar, que es el Rancho Pérez, que es un rancho que el dueño es amigo de Chiquis, y fueron a ver cómo iban a organizar todo, y también hablaron de los problemas que estaban tuviendo con la boda por el dinero y por las personas y todo eso. Johnny, did you know that there was so many problems going on with the wedding about like the people and everything?
I didn't know in detail, but I had overheard things within the coming weeks. It was a really, really stressful time, and I tried my best to make sure my sister was okay. And just like sometimes I brought her, little like snacks or flowers, or sometimes just to like ease the stress around that time. But it was a very stressful time being in that house, especially.
So you could definitely see being in the house that there was a lot of things going on, and your sister was obviously acting different, right?
Yeah, of course. She was very, very tired.
Yeah, and I'm sure like nosotros cuando planeamos un evento muy grande nos estresamos. Like yo tuve mi quinceañera, pero no fue algo tan grande tampoco así, pero yeah, I can only imagine, I think the biggest thing that we have to remember is that you guys are trying to keep it private. Chiquis and Lorenzo are really trying to have this intimate moment, and you have been in the spotlight for so long that sometimes it's really hard. So if you were to put yourself in like Chiquis' shoes, how would you have done anything differently? Or
actually, one of the final decisions to like make the wedding completely private is because they got really big offers from major networks to sell the wedding, and they really, really debated on it. And I remember we were sitting in her closet one time. I'm like, why don't you guys just not sell the wedding?
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Like, why do you want to feel like you have to work on your wedding day? Like, why don't we all just enjoy time with each other as a family? And it's like, let's not sell the wedding. And I think that's where it was set, and then the rest is history. Yeah.
Well, I know, like, I'm a big fan of your family, and obviously, like, I keep up with a lot, but to be honest, I had no idea that they were actually gonna get married until to be honest, I didn't even see the invitation be leaked. So I did not know that it was like that huge, to the point where, like, obviously after seeing everything on like social media and stuff, there was a lot of people there that obviously were not invited. So I'm sure looking back now and like watching this episodes, I don't know if Chiquis does watch it,
the reason I watch it mainly also is because we all have to like approve the episodes. And
oh really?
Yeah, because she's the executive producer.
Oh, okay.
On the show, so she does watch. And
so you guys all do like watch your whole season and make sure that everything that you guys want shown is shown. Yeah,
and especially like let's say when we're gonna have a live on Sundays, like we typically end up watching the episode together, and we end up laughing a lot too.
Well, I'm sure now she can look back and be like, I'm glad like it's over. She had her moment, and now she can just move on with her life.
I'm actually really glad about the way everything happened too. I think I think it's just it's suitable to our lives. Like everything is always kind of like a little bit chaotic.
Yeah.
So I mean I remember that day. We all remember that day. Everyone trying to make all the media trying to make it seem like it was like a terrible day. Was that we all had a great day.
And that's what matters. At the end of the day, I feel like people forget that you guys are human beings, and that you guys deserve to have these moments and make these decisions. As fans, of course, we would like to see a little bit of something. I think the reason why people got really mad was because how Jacquie's wedding was shown and everything, but again, it's your guys' decisions. Things, obviously, the circumstances have changed. Your mom was obviously not here to be with Chiquis, so I'm sure that played a part in why she wanted to make it private.
Yeah. So, and I feel like that's something that should be discussed more is, a lot of the arguments a lot of people made were like, oh, you guys, like, this is the price you guys pay, you guys, this is what you guys do with your lives. Like, you have a reality show and everything, like, you're public figures. But I don't think that necessarily means we surrender the right to choose what we, like, want to show.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
But good thing is, now, and I think after this whole incident, you guys realize who's really, like, on your side and who's really going to protect you as human beings and really respect your decisions. So, again, I'm glad that you guys are happy with that day and how everything went down, because at the end of the day, nobody can take that away from you. But we also saw a really beautiful moment that was obviously one of my favorite moments in this episode, was when Jacqie and Jenicka surprised Chiquis with that gift about where your mom was obviously gonna pay for her wedding gift. Para que todos los que vieron el episodio también vimos que Jacqie y Jenicka sorprendieron a Chiquis y le regalaron el regalo que su mamá le iba a comprar, su vestido. What did you think about that moment?
I remember they were that week, I think they showed me the note and everything, and it was actually it made me emotional too. I actually chose the picture they put. Yeah, and I was really, really happy with that.
Yeah, and obviously we know that I know Jenicka or Jacqie mentioned that your tia Rosie had to approve it because
my tia Rosie manages my mom's estate.
Right.
She's the trustee.
So did you guys all come together, the four of you, and were like having a meeting, pretty much deciding that this was gonna happen, or was just kind of like,
it's just like a simple call. Like I think Jacqie and Jacqie and Jenicka just. I'm not sure exactly how it went down, but it's just a simple call or a text. Knowing us, it was probably like a group chat. Like, I think mom should pay for Chiquis' dress.
Yeah. So it wasn't anything like you guys don't have to go through like a long process.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's nothing like that. Like, it's. I think people have like that idea in their heads. It's like way bigger than it is, but no, I think it's.
And the way that note was written, I think, was my favorite part, because it really represented the fact that your mom was going to be there in one way or another, which I'm sure she was. Did you by any chance feel like your mom was present in any way or any specific moment?
And during the wedding?
Or during the planning and then during the wedding?
Specifically during the wedding, it was. I think especially. For those who don't know, there was in the next to the altar, there was a piano, and on top of the piano were little were items of my mom and items of Lorenzo's dad.
Oh, wow.
So, and there was a picture of both of them next to them, so they were right there.
Oh, that's really nice, because we also know from watching the season that Lorenzo wasn't able to have his dad there, and then we saw que la mamá de Lorenzo también habló con él en este episodio y le dijo que estaba muy orgulloso de él y que su papá también estuviera muy orgulloso de él. Entonces pienso que it's really nice to have the fact that, they both understand each other with that aspect of the fact that neither of them had one parent there. Yeah. But it was really nice, to be honest. This was like one of my favorite moments in this episode. But we also saw a lot about you in this episode, which was we haven't seen a lot of you in the season.
Yeah, I've been on the back burner
a little bit. Down low a little bit. Is that like your decision, or is it just because the wedding took over, kind of?
Just because the wedding took over. Obviously, like whenever we sit down and plan out what we're going to talk about these seasons, I mean, we just go along with what's going on in our lives, and I mean, the biggest thing going on in our lives right now was the wedding.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So, I mean, that's essentially why that happened.
Right. So we saw a little bit about you in the episode where you were having your problems with Chiquis' coworkers, which you obviously had mentioned now that you resolved those issues, so everything is good. But one of the things that we saw was that you had a conversation with Chiquis, and you were talking to her about that your grandpa was obviously working on this golden tour in which it involved your whole family, and it was essentially honoring your mom, but it was going to be, your whole family are artists, so everyone included. But Chiquis did say that she wasn't going to be involved because of the way she felt with the way your family was communicating and being with each other outside of like work, pretty much, and that you kind of stood on that opinion as well. Was it really hard to make that decision? How much was it going like through your mind?
It was a really hard decision to make, just mainly because I didn't want to let my grandpa down, and also because I did want that experience as a singer, as someone that really loves music. I wanted that experience, and you know, I just felt like it was more important to stick to my morals because unfortunately, while you know we're on the road to progression and my family is honestly better than it's been in years, my tío Gus and my tío Lopez still aren't on speaking terms
till this day,
till this moment. And unfortunately, it's because my tío Gus isn't exactly welcoming to the opportunity yet. He's still he's still warming his heart up to it. So I feel like we need to be united off stage before we're united on stage. So and especially if it's supposed to be in honor of my mom, I'd rather have my mom would like care more about us being united as a family versus as artists. So
and I think that was really brave of you to do that because like Chiquis mentioned as well, you guys are now to the point where you guys can make your own decisions, you know, but of course you can still go to her and ask for advice because you're the one that's really starting. You just launched, you know, one song, and then you're really starting your career right now, so obviously you do go to her a lot still for guidance. Yeah,
all of us still do, actually. I think people probably view me as like the only one that still does it, but honestly we all go to her for advice, like whether it's like my brother Mikey, he's actually, I think he's potentially gonna buy out his painting company that he's working with, so he's gonna be a CEO, and so he asked her for advice on like on decisions like that, or Jenicka, whatever is going on with her. We all still go to her, like we're all still essentially kids in that sense.
And I think right now, you know, I'm obviously not that much younger or older than you. I have older siblings. Like literally my family dynamic is exactly like yours. I have 3 older siblings and then I'm the 2 youngest. But whenever it came to like a big decision, I would always still go to my older siblings because even though, you know, I obviously still have my mom here, but I feel like sometimes it's easier to get guidance from like your older siblings who have gone through a lot and who are literally in that position right now than to your parents, because you want to get those different perspectives, right?
Yeah, of course. I think especially like given the dynamic that, you know, so many Latino families have, I mean, I feel like that's why so many people identify with us, is because it's a reflection of their family. The only difference is that we're in the spotlight. So.
Right. And then one of the things that you did mention also while having this conversation with Chiquis was that you wanted to go into business school or like take business administration classes. Have you actually gone forward with that, or where are you with that right now?
I'm actually on the route to applying for the winter semester.
Oh, really?
I'm gonna study business. I believe it might be in Santa Monica Community College.
Okay, cool.
And eventually I want to maybe transfer to a bigger university. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna take that route serious. I always wanted to. I was always back and forth on college, just mainly because I've heard this constant statistics that, you know, if no matter like what you're doing, so many people always end up changing their major towards the end. So I always wanted to go to college, but I never wanted to necessarily start something that I wasn't going to finish. So if I was going to go to college, I wanted to make sure I was sure about what I was doing, and I'm more sure than ever that like no matter what I'm going to do at the end of the day, it's going to come down to business.
Right. So. And then are you the only one that really has gone forward with school, like college or anything?
My brother took classes for his painting. Jacqie has something in the medical field. Like I think if she wanted to, she could go become a registered nurse right now.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, and Jenicka did a few classes, but I think I might be actually the first one to get maybe an associate's or something like that.
Or to even go and get your bachelor's. I'm sure that would be a huge deal for your family to see you and really go forward with that. And the good thing is that you have still this platform that you can promote. Like I was telling you before we did this, that I feel like when if you can line up all of your siblings, every single one has its own little like thing that they do. Mikey, art. Jenicka is now doing her makeup. Jacqie is doing her music career. Chiquis does it all. But then with you, like I feel like your main job, which I don't know if this just came naturally, is to promote your mom. You're always very involved with that. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, we all love my mom and everything she stands for, and you know, we're so appreciative of everything that she's done, but I think the ones that have always been so involved in everything, think here's the thing. We represent my mom all in various different ways. You know, Jacqie and Jenicka worked on the makeup collaboration. Mikey's always doing murals, but me and Chiquis have always just been invested in all of it.
Yeah.
I mean, we all have our own separate things, but like honestly, we're just invested in all of it. Like actually, Chiquis recently became the creative director behind my mom's tequila.
Oh, okay.
And I'm actually working on a collection for Jenni Rivera fashion. Yeah. Because my mom's album La Gran Señora is going to turn 10 this year. So we're making a collection to celebrate the 10th anniversary.
Oh wow.
So out of all of us, I think it's me and Chiquis that have always just been more invested in that. We want to make sure mom's name and legacy is, you know, taken care of.
Right. And then I think it also, does it come from like really your relationship with your mom?
I believe so. Yeah. I think just seeing her and being close to her at all times. Yeah. Whether I was, you know, just paying full attention or not at the time when I was younger, I was still there, and it was just all I knew, and I knew how important it was to her. So I feel like that's just always stayed in my mind, and I just want my mom's name to be attached to things that'll further her legacy, and like people will always like know her name. Right.
And then we also mentioned, or Chiquis mentioned actually, that you could potentially take over like Jenni Rivera Enterprises. Would that be like one of your biggest goals if you were to do that?
I think that's definitely one of my biggest goals I've always had in mind. And I think hopefully I can, you know, get the experience soon, because my tia Rosie, she loves her job because it's her sister, but she also doesn't want her boss. She wants her sister. Right. And, you know, my tia Rosie never asked for this job. Like she's working, so eventually one of us can take care of her. So that's why she's taking care of it. So I think if anything, you know, I think I'd really like to take that role.
That's good. It's really amazing again to see that. Again, you're the youngest, but you're really the one that's been taking this really seriously and be like, you know what? I want my mom's legacy to live on forever. For you, because you really have that motivation, what would be like the biggest achievement for you to take over? Like, what would be your dream come true for your mom?
Honestly, that's a really hard one, because there's so many things I want to do with her legacy, but there's way too many things to name. I think just more than anything, I just want to make sure that her name is, you know, people are still talking about her 20 years from now. And I really want to just, you know, build on her legacy and make sure that things are that her name is always attached to things that, you know, she would like approve of, and you know, she would want to happen.
And then one of the things, obviously, like you mentioned, is the makeup line. So that was one of your mom's dreams. Is there anything other dream that you know of that you would like to, you know, create a project of, or really fulfill that dream for your mom?
Well, we're actually working on bringing her sweatsuits back.
Oh, okay.
When we launched Jenni Rivera Fashion, my mom had just finished approving the first wash of her sweatsuits, and we don't. I forgot what happened with the company that she was working with, but unfortunately we couldn't make those anymore. But we're working on bringing those back in new and better ways. So
that's really cool.
I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, that's good that you're still able to take on like things that you guys probably forgot about that happened a really long time ago that your mom probably never got to finish because she was so busy, and now that you're fulfilling this dream, it's like, that's really amazing.
Yeah, honestly, there's things that take a lot of time, and that have been on the back burner for so long. It's not necessarily that we forget about them. It's just they things just take a lot of time. Like, for example, what we did with the park last week. Yeah. Like, we've been talking about putting playground equipment there forever, but because it was through the city of Long Beach, that took a while. Yeah. And because it was taxpayer money that's going into that, that's why that took a while. But the fact that, you know, we've been talking about that since 2015.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it took this long, so.
Yeah, but like, again, we see, para todos los que no saben, Johnny ahorita estaba trabajando con su tía Rosie en hacer un parque en Long Beach para honorar a Jenni Rivera como siempre lo han hecho, y that park is in memorization, or in memory of your mom, right?
The city of Long Beach came forth and they wanted to honor her and name the park after her, and then my brother did a mural there, and in memory of her, and now they're putting equipment there, and they've been refurbishing the park and keeping it clean and everything.
Oh, that's really cool.
So it's all through the city of Long Beach.
Yeah. Y como si ustedes no saben, si no son fanáticos de Jenni Rivera creció en Long Beach, y Long Beach fue un lugar muy grande en su corazón. Entonces por eso los niños ahora están trabajando en hacer muchas cosas en Long Beach para seguir pues el nombre de Jenni Rivera ahí en esa ciudad. But también we also saw that conversation with your grandpa. Were you really nervous to go into that? And then is that why you asked kind of Jacqie to go with you, or did she offer to go with you?
I believe we were just both in the neighborhood, because I'm actually in Long Beach a lot, and I stopped by Jackie's house, so I think that's how that went down, if I remember correctly. But we just wanted to go visit Grandpa, and I was very nervous for that conversation. Everyone told me to not be nervous, but I think me and my siblings, we all kind of have like a people pleasing thing to us. So I think I really didn't want to let him down. I just didn't want to see that look on his face. But he was very respectful, and he understood. And I think, if anything, he just respects me more for the fact that I, came straight up to him and told him that my reasons. And the thing that I think threw him off a little bit from watching the episode was he was like, "What's going on with the family? I don't know what you're talking about." And then when you're like, "Well, the tension and stuff," he's like, "Oh yeah." Like, do you feel like as parents, seeing that, do they involve themselves in order to like bring the family together? I believe my grandma and grandpa have been divorced for a long time now. Yeah. But I believe my grandpa knows when to not step in. Mm-hmm. I think there's things just as adults that you have to work out, and most of it has been worked out, and my family is better than ever. Yeah. But I feel like sometimes they've just wanted to let things work themselves out. They don't want to pressure or bother anyone too much. Right. So I think that's how that goes down. That's good. But then also to be honest, I didn't even know before watching this episode that there was actually a lot of not problems, but I guess just things that happened that your sister held, really close to her heart in regards to your Tio Lupe, him. Mm-hmm. I didn't even know she hadn't invited him to the wedding. So that was a big revelation for all of us who are watching. It's been a very public thing, unfortunately, that we've been kind of distant with my Tio Lupe for years, ever since my mom left. But it's things that happen in every family. The only thing is that we're just in the spotlight. Yeah. But thank God, it's better than ever now. Mistakes have been made on both sides, but like I said, this kind of stuff happens in every family. Yeah, and as a fan, I can see now, especially with your Tio Juan and your Tio Lupe, that they've really come together. Mm-hmm. They're doing a lot of music together. Their relationship is honestly better than ever, and I'm really, really happy for them. Good. And as a fan, that's great to see, but I'm sure as being part of that family, it makes you really happy to see that. Yeah, of course. Honestly, when I see them together, it makes me feel like a kid again. That's what me and Mikey always say, that you feel like you're 5 years old again, and just seeing them messing around and stuff. So that's really cool. Well, eso fue todo casi por este episodio de Los Riveras, pero algo grande que pasó fue que una persona que fue invitado a la boda vendió la invitación a un medio, y toda la información se salió para el público. Johnny, how did you know when that happened? Mm-hmm. And how you're part of this family. You were looking forward to this special day for your sister, and then how do you feel after hearing that someone sold that to a media outlet? I was very, very, very upset. It was actually the day before Chiquis' birthday that everything got leaked. It got leaked on the 25th. The wedding was on the 29th, and Chiquis' birthday is on the 26th. Mm-hmm. And so they decided to leak it that day, and it was very frustrating. Honestly, I was just very nervous for my sister, because that day I saw her, that she left the house. I think it was 20-30 minutes before the invitation leaked. I saw her, and she was in a really, really great mood. Yeah. And that was asking for a lot in that time, because she was so stressed about the wedding. Yeah. So the fact that she was in a great mood, I was so happy for her. And then she left the house, and then next thing I know, the invitation was leaked, and it was just really upsetting. The fact that it was someone close to us that did that, and we still don't know who it is, unfortunately. But I was really, really upset.
También vimos que Lorenzo habló con una persona que obvio no dijeron el nombre, que por favor le dieron una explicación en por qué hizo esto. Entonces, were you as frustrated as Lorenzo, and were you guys really focused on trying to find out who really did this?
I believe everyone in the family was a little bit frustrated and was just like wondering, like, who do you trust at the moment?
Yeah.
It's been a lot. So we still don't know, unfortunately. But I mean, this is stuff that happens. Like you can't make some of this stuff up.
Right. And you think at this point, now that the wedding's over and everything happened, and literally your family's name was being thrown around so much. And again, I don't think people remember that you guys are human beings, and to really put you guys down for something that was out of your control. How do you move forward with, like, did you guys want to take a step back and be like, you know what, we don't want to do interviews, we don't want to do anything right now? Because was it really that much that it impacted, like, your life and your whole family?
Honestly, you know, the day everything happened, and, you know, I got home and I checked my phone finally, because we took away our phones at the wedding. Yeah, no one had phones at the wedding. And so I turned my phone on and I saw everything that was happening. Like, it was honestly, to me, you know, I know how being in the spotlight works. Usually like after like a week or two, everything blows over, but it was just so much. And given the fact that also we were trying to celebrate my mom's 50th birthday that week, it was very emotionally and just exhausting. So it really made me think for the first time, like, and I think in forever, like, you know, are you sure you want to stay in the spotlight the rest of your life? Like, this is hard, because I mean, my sister, she's always trying to, you know, build good relationships with all the networks and you know, do things correctly, and she's always been very respectful. They can't say that she's been disrespectful towards them, and unfortunately they still decided to do that. So I mean, it's a disappointing medium, but I mean, that's the way things are.
So let's say, you know, for some reason you guys do end up finding out who it was. How do you think you guys would move forward, or would it even matter anymore now that the wedding passed? Well,
actually, we believe that the same person that leaked the wedding invitation was the same person that leaked my sister Jacqie's pregnancy a few weeks ago. So honestly, it's frustrating not knowing who's around us and who we can trust. But I mean, honestly, first thing we can do is go to court probably. But I mean, because everyone around us has an NDA, so like, that's how you would probably go about that. Right.
Because, you know, if they're working for you, if they're around you, they have to respect your guys' decision. So I'm sure, again, it's really hard to be in this position, because I don't think people remember you weren't really given a choice whether you were in the spotlight or not.
Exactly. I think all of us, like, this kind of just happened to us.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, we tried not being in the spotlight for a little bit. Like, kind of, like, I don't know, we're always just being dragged back into it somehow. So we're just used to it, and, like, you know, this is our life, and this is the way things are.
Would you change it?
Change what exactly?
Like, you being in the spotlight and kind of being a reality star in a way.
I'm not entirely sure, because honestly, I don't know whether, I think all the experiences I've lived through, positive or negative in my life, I think, you know, for the first time in like, I think ever, I'm really just proud of the person I am right now. Yeah. And I'm proud of the qualities that I have. So I really believe that, you know, if it wasn't for those experiences, like, I wouldn't be the person I am today. So I can't say whether I would change it or not, because who knows, I probably would be a completely different Johnny.
Right, of course. And then I think at the end of the day, everything is connected to your mom, and you're just super proud to be Jenni Rivera's son. I mean,
of course, I'm always I always call that my biggest flex. My mom is my biggest flex.
Yeah, which is really cool. But otra vez, eso fue casi todo el episodio que vimos en este, que fue el 8 episodio, y luego la próxima semana vamos a ver muchas cosas en ello. frustración que tenían toda la familia en que esta información se salió y
This
que
is actually a really good episode.
y entonces, como lo dijo Johnny, el próximo episodio va a ser algo muy muy bueno. Entonces, como siempre les digo, toda la semana vamos a estar aquí los lunes a las 6 p.m. para que nos apoyen. Por favor, denle like en YouTube, suscríbanse en YouTube otra vez. También estamos en iTunes para que nos puedan seguir y nunca sabemos, podemos tener otra vez otro guest o Johnny, como si le gusta como está aquí, podría regresar con nosotros. Pero otra vez muchas gracias a todos los que están viendo y que están apoyando este nuevo canal latino, que como yo que soy una latina quiero que este canal sea muy grande porque me encanta representar mis culturas y como no sé, obvio no sabes, pero yo también soy mexicana, entonces me encanta poder hacer esto para toda nuestra gente y más personas que son como nosotros, que nacimos aquí pero somos muy cercanos a nuestra cultura y luego nuestras raíces. Entonces creo que es muy importante que como nosotros, tú como esa plataforma que tienes que puedes promote the Mexican culture and being Mexican American, and the same way that I can do it. So I think it's really cool that we have that opportunity. So why not take advantage of it?
I love what you guys are doing here. You guys are doing an amazing job.
Thank you. We really appreciate that. Well, ahora vamos a hablar con Johnny en lo que está pasando en su vida. So I know I've noticed a lot on Instagram and you mentioned it in this season, that you're working on your fitness and you're working on your health as well. What made you start that?
My mom was always like very, always trying to get us to eat right, but we obviously never, I don't know, it was hard to get us to eat right and, work out and all that stuff. But I think eventually I just, a lot of people were telling me that if I was going to get fit ever or start going to the gym, that now would be the time. Because I started about almost 2 years ago. Yeah. That they told me now would be the time because, the testosterone builds up in your body and, it's easier to lose weight like when you're younger. Right. So, I think that also just because I was just a very different person back then. I wasn't as confident. I was very shy and, I was very insecure, and I think I just needed an outlet, kind of, because I get a lot of stress out when I'm at the gym. I get a lot of stress, anger, or anything. And so I think a lot of that. And honestly, it's just become an essential part of my life, and it makes me happy.
That's good, because we know that Jacqie, kind of her start was through her divorce. She really wanted to find herself after, everything that happened. Was there anything specific that made you start, like, all right, now it's the time for me to start my fitness?
Well, actually, I remember in the first season we actually did the mud run. Yes. And I remember doing that. I remember I said, okay, if I can do this, I can go to the gym at least like twice a week. And I signed up for an old boxing class I used to take when I was a kid. They had the adult class. Right. And so I started doing that regularly. I think I lost and I started eating right as well. I started, I think I lost about maybe 10 pounds by myself. Oh, wow. And then eventually I went with my trainer, Motivate, who's in Long Beach, and I've just been working ever since.
Do you work out with Jacqie a lot? Because we saw this season, that you guys went to that.
Yeah, we work out. That class. We work out occasionally every now and then. We I remember a few weeks ago, she lives in Whittier, and Whittier's on the way to Long Beach for me, so I stopped by her house, and her trainer happened to cancel on her. Said maybe Molly will let you in, and then we ended up training together. So
that's really cool. That's cool again that you guys have these similarities where you guys are going through your same journeys, and that you guys can support each other.
Yeah, we're always feeding off of one another. Right.
And then one of the things that you're also starting yourself is your music career. We saw, para todos los que no saben, Johnny sacó su primera canción que se llama Chicano Jalisciense, right?
That was in April. Yeah. Salió en abril.
Entonces, are you working on music right now, or is that something that you want to keep doing?
I believe, I love music more than any other art form. It's something I'm very, very passionate about, and I want to make sure I do it right more than anything. And if I can just spend the rest of my life doing music, I'd be so happy. So that's definitely a dream that I'm working on, and just trying to figure out where exactly I want to go with it, because if I'm being completely honest, I don't know if the banda genre completely fits me, because I love it with all my heart, but I feel like maybe it needs a few tweaks to it to really suit me as a person, but I'm working on it, so that's definitely something I want to keep working on in the future.
And I think right now you're at a point where you're really trying to find what's right for you and what's not, like exactly. Who you are as a person, where you want to move on, because you're an adult now, and it's like, all right, what do I do with my life?
Yeah.
Right? So I'm sure I know, like, I've been there, and it's a lot to really figure out, but slowly but surely you'll know, like, what calls you and what doesn't. But again, I think from what I see, it's like one of the things that definitely is like your passion is representing your mom.
Yeah.
So I think that's really one of the things that you've been doing a really good job at.
Thank you so much.
And also, you know, we see you doing fitness and music. Is there any other projects that you work on aside from this reality show?
Just you know, working on whatever my mom's empire has to offer. I'm always we've all always had like a little bit of a hand in in everything that goes on there. We have a great team that works at Jenni Rivera Enterprises, but we all have a hand in you know what decision gets made, whether it's, you know, working on my mom's upcoming album, her first album of pure inéditas, or, you know, what I just told you, the Gran Señora collection that I'm working on, and the sweatsuits. There's so much going on, but that's mainly what I dedicate my life to.
Is there someone that specifically calls you, like your tia Rosie, and it's like, oh, this is what we're working on? Or you? It's
typically my tio Juan or my tia Rosie. We have a group chat with my siblings, and and we all discuss whatever's going on there.
Right. And then also, now that you're doing this, we're on the 4th season of the Riveras. How was it hard for you guys to decide whether you're going to move forward with the reality show or not?
At the end of the day, I think it's just, you know, whether people want more or not, and it seems like they do.
Yeah.
So, if everyone's on board, then we're gonna continue doing this. So,
which is good. And I think now, have you gotten to the point where you're comfortable with like the cameras being around you and everything?
I think we've all always been comfortable with it, really? Because I mean, a lot of people probably don't even remember, but we did I Love Jenny before this, but so we have a lot of experience in this field.
Yeah, and I remember that show. That was like one of my favorite shows. And for those fans who have been following you guys for a really long time, I think everything really started with I Love Jenny, where we got to see a lot of you guys. And really, I think more about you as kids, like how involved you really are and how your dynamic is at, you know, at the house. I was just watching the beginning of one of the episodes like a couple weeks ago, and that was the birth of Luna, and then your mom like being there and Mikey going through that transition. So for me, I was thinking about like, do you ever watch those episodes again?
Sometimes it's we show sometimes we show Jayla, and those are like essentially our home videos,
right?
So those moments are really, really special to us,
right?
So this is essentially our 9th year of reality though.
Wow.
So like if you just take away all the titles of all the reality shows we've done, this is essentially our 9th season of reality. So
well, thank you again for showing us what your life is about, because as fans we of course want more. And I think one of the funny moments in this episode was that Jacqie and Jennicka said that they were like the Kardashians, where each of them named each other. Do you think you guys are like the Latin Kardashians?
You know, honestly, a lot of people compare us all the time, but I mean, I think the priority, I just want to be Kanye if I'm going to be compared to the rest of them. But yeah,
you want to be that artistic and everything. Alright, well, like I mentioned to you, como saben ustedes, siempre tenemos un segmento especial aquí en nuestro programa. Entonces ahora que tengo Johnny aquí conmigo, como las semanas pasadas no he sido tan buena para adivinar quién lo cantó, entonces ahora vamos a hacer este segmento especial con Johnny. Johnny, ¿estás lista?
Sí, estoy lista. Are you guys ready to guess the song?
Yeah.
You guys have to guess the song and who sang the song, okay?
Right.
Okay, les voy a leer las palabras. Pero no se hace inevitable volver a pensar en ti, porque están en todas partes, aunque ya no estés aquí.
That's aparentemente bien.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I still had to think about it. Por eso dije que teniendo Johnny aquí, él me iba a ayudar, porque I had no. So you really know like all the lyrics and everything.
I think if there's 2 people on the planet that know like the encyclopedia of Jenni Rivera, it's me and my tio Juan.
Really?
Yeah, we know everything, every interview, every music, where everything belongs, everything.
Do you ever keep like a memory book or anything like that of your mom or anything she has given you?
I have I mean, we all have different items from her, but something I hold really special to me is it's a bag of items. It's the last PJ she used before she left that weekend for Monterrey.
Yeah.
And it has one of her pillows in there, and it has a blanket that she used for the last time before she left for Mexico that weekend. So that's something I have outside my room that I always keep with me.
That's really nice. Well, thank you so much for being here. Is there anything that you want to share with our fans that are watching right now?
Well, just thank you so much for the support. Thank you for the invitation, and keep watching the Riveras every Sunday at 6. Is it? I forgot what time is that. It's at 10 p.m.
It's 10 p.m.
It's
for
10 p.m.
here for West Coast.
Yes, so the Riveras at 10 p.m. Yeah.
Bueno, eso fue todo para nosotros. Johnny, ¿a dónde te pueden encontrar en los social media?
En Twitter soy a JuanAngel702, Instagram JuanAngelOficial.
Ok, y a mí me pueden encontrar como @Leslie Colón. Y otra vez vamos a estar aquí todos los lunes a las 6 p.m. Y también estoy en el programa de WWE en español para que nos apoyen ahí. Entonces eso fue todo. Hasta luego.
Bye.
Nuestros fundadores Keven Undergaro y Maria Menounos quieren agradecerles por estar aquí en AfterBuzz TV. Recuerden que no solo somos los primeros en ser los más grandes del mundo y el único destino para todos sus programas de televisión favoritos. Así, vayan a AfterBuzzTV.com para ver nuestra lista de shows. ¡Hasta luego!